Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining this session regarding best practices on upgrading CL to Dynamics 365 Business Central to extensions. My name is Damas. I'm responsible for sales at Simpanova and will be the host of today's event. So, the main goal of this session is simply to share the experience that we gained while working with the extension projects. So we'll share some of the knowledge, how we are estimating these kind of projects, how we were able to deliver these projects to our clients, what is the best practices, what kind of issues we received while working with these projects, what are the limitations, and of course, what are the workarounds for that. And before we'll start, I would like to encourage all of you who are willing to have an upgrade project in the nearest future, either for their add-ons or for their client solutions, to contact sales at Simpanova directly, and we'll provide you free evaluation for an upgrade to estimations without any charges. And during all session, you can leave all the questions in Q&A place, and by the end of the session, we'll answer all these questions. So to begin with, let's go to agenda. And first of all, we will check what's the path for upgrading, how we are doing the estimations, what tools and resources use. Then we'll go to examples, lessons, and limitations that we have. And we'll see everything in the detailed way. What are the procedures for all these steps? For all of you who haven't worked with us before, let me introduce shortly Simplanova, who we are and what we do. We started our operations back in 2013, and the main activities how we started was we started while working with upgrades. Especially, back in that time, it was really a difficult and challenging thing to move efficiently classic solutions to new RTC versions and so on. So we built a team who works only with upgrades. They have already performed more than 350 upgrade projects. And the thing is, we are really efficient because we are already using a lot of different tools that allows us to cut manual work from these kind of projects and provide you the better time frame for all the upgrade projects. So this would be the first part. Also, we have a team of skilled developers that some of them has even more than 20 years of experience in NAV world, and they can work in both language, in CL, in AL already. If you do have some tasks related to new integrations, mobile app development, new add-on development, and so on, without a doubt, we can help you in this field as well. Next, really important part for Simplanova, why we are different, why we are uh, working really in an innovative way, is because of our automated tools that allows us to be efficient. As I mentioned, for upgrades, we have built a variety of tools such as report converter, which converts classic reports to RDLC and even to AL. We have data port converter. We have Simplanova's report designer, which allows you to build RDLC reports from scratch. And right now we are developing one really useful tool for extension projects as an event tool, which simply moves your customizations to events. And of course, the later stage of this tool should be that it should move customizations not directly just to events, but to extensions as well. But right now we are using this one tool only internally, but hopefully, maybe even within this year, we might launch it publicly. So all partners who are willing to move their solution to extensions would be able to use this tool. And also, one really important part for all the ISV providers is to move their add-ons to extensions as well. So we have a team who can help on these kind of tasks as well, because for all of you who have their solutions on the RTC versions, and if you want to work with new clients who are buying new Business Central licenses, you need to have your add-on on extensions as well. So we can help you in a few ways. One of them is simply we can do all the job instead of you in order not to lose these clients, or we can provide you the training sessions, workshops on how to move your solution to extensions. So as an example, you could send us your solution. Our team could do the small investigation and prepare the workshop according to the add-on that you have in order to move it successfully. So let's move to the main topic of our session about the upgrade to extensions, and let's check what's the path of upgrading. So right now, if, for example, you are having a solution which is on NAV classic version of NAV, like the sixth version of NAV. And if you want to move directly to Business Central 15th version on extensions, uh, there would be an additional step what you need to do. So from our experience, what we are doing, first of all, we are moving this solution, the classic solution, to Business Central 14th version, latest CU, still on CL version. We are doing this step, and only then we are moving your solution to extensions on Business Central 14th version or Business Central 15th version. It depends on you which one you are choosing, and then we are moving either to the cloud if there's a need for that, or even to AppSource. But first of all, what we are doing the conversion to Business Central 14th version, latest CU on CL, and only then we are moving to AL extensions or CL extensions or the Business Central 14th extension. So which it depends which one you are choosing. So really simple, as you see right here in this table. So first step to latest RTCCL version, second step to AL extensions, and then to cloud extensions or AppSource. Really simple, really easy. It looks like, but we'll see if it's actually works easy like that. So how to estimate and how to scope these kind of projects? I would say it's not an easy task to do. Uh, we started we started estimating these kind of projects back in 2018, and it wasn't that easy, despite the fact that we do have a tool that is doing estimations automatically. We are building our evaluation tool already for 7 years, and it's still under the development process, because with each new version, each new release, we are adapting it to the new versions. And how how we are doing everything, let me just share. Here's a Simplanova's evaluation process in a nutshell, how we are estimating these kind of projects. So first of all, we are giving an access for our partners to our quote portal. And the main idea is that the partner is filling up the upgrade request form with such an information from which version to which version he would like to have an upgrade, what's the size of the database, how many companies they need to migrate, if there are any add-ons in the solution, and so on. We need to receive all this information and, of course, the FOB file with all the objects. And what is really important while doing the estimation is, if you are having any add-ons in the solution, we need to receive the current version of the add-on and the target version of the add-on. If you are moving your solution to Business Central on extensions, in this case, then we need to receive 3 versions. It would be the current version, then the latest Business Central 14th version add-on, and 15th and the target version add-on. So it is really important for us in order to make proper estimation, because our tool is checking all the uh, differences and changes. And one really important thing what we need to receive, but this is prior the upgrade project, um, not during the evaluation. We need to make sure that the toolkit, while doing the transition, let's say from the Business Central 14th version CL to Business Central 15th version on AL, add-on has a proper toolkit. Because without having the toolkit, we won't be able to do properly the upgrade. So this is really, really important part. So what is the next step? When we are receiving all these details from our partner, our developers are checking all the details from the request form and the FOB file. They are checking if all the version seems the same from the request form and on the FOB file that we received. And then all the objects and versions are prepared for our evaluation tool to process. So all the objects are uploaded into the tool. We are converting everything to TXT format as our tool requires that. And there are 4 major things that our tool is estimating regarding the changes, like the merge rules, factoring rules, transformation rules, and so on. According that, we are checking the differences between the standard objects and customized objects. And according that, we are able to set time for each object, how much time it would take for us to do the upgrade, even in minutes. So you would have the proposal from our side with all the objects that we need to convert, and everything you'll be able to see even in minutes. Uh, so this would be the main thing. And after our tool is finishing the estimation, all the results are sending back to developers, because despite the fact that everything is automated, we still need to double check if all the numbers seems right and if we need to do any kind of adjustments. So we are reviewing and fixing all discrepancies if there are any of these. And of course, there are some things that we need to add manually. For example, the time on how much time we are going to spend to prepare the estimation, how much time we are going to spend on testing, project management, and so on. We are adding these things manually according to our experience that we had previously, and according to the size of the whole scope. And then our sales managers are preparing all the details and sending back to you that you could see how everything looks like. So let's move on, and I'll simply show you one of the examples that I have. Just give me a second. I'm opening my Excel sheet. So right now you should be able to see the screen of Excel that we are sending to our customers. Right here, you could see all the important information and comments from our project manager. So what is included or what is excluded from the evaluation, uh, like extensions evaluate to be upgraded on-premise version and so on. For example, you can receive a note regarding the unsupported changes and the standard objects, for example, that we are available on the version from which we are estimating, but not available on the version that we are doing the evaluation. Right here on the quote detail side, you can see all important information regarding the uh, net. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention one thing, that when we are doing an upgrade to Business Central 15th version, you will have quote details for two parts of the project. As I've showed you in the beginning in the upgrade path, first of all, we are doing an upgrade to the latest Business Central 14th version, and then we are moving to Business Central 15th version. So right here in this part, code details, you can see the estimation from the current version, which is 3.7, to Business Central 14th version on CL. So right here, you can see everything in the detailed way, how much time we are going to spend on the each phase while converting tables, forms, reports, data ports, etc. And of course, quote details for extension part. So this is the second part of the project. When we will finish with the first one for the upgrade to Business Central 14th version, then we are doing the part with extensions. So once again, you'll see how much time it's gonna take for us to prepare all the environment, for how much time we are going to spend on code clearance, movement to events, custom page tables, code units to extensions, report conversion to extensions, etc., etc. And how much time we are going to provide as a free support. And if we would go to solution objects, also right here, you can see even in minutes how much time we are going to spend on each project, on each object. Really simple and easy way to see how much time it takes for us. And one really also important thing when we are doing the upgrades to extensions is we need to share the whole list of limitations that we have when we are doing the transition to Business Central on extensions. And the reason why we need to do that, let's say when we are sending you the scope, when we are sending you the quote of the upgrades, we are also we are also identifying some of the parts that should be that won't be available on the Business Central, some of the functionalities that don't exist anymore. So we need to sit down before start of the project with our partner and discuss what we need to do in one way or on the other way. For example, if there are some kind of uh, limitations that are not available on the Business Central 15th version, there are a few ways how we can have this functionality. So either we need to redesign it. Another one thing is still we are able to modify the base app. So for example, we are modifying the base app, but we are building an event at the same time as well. And we are sending the request for Microsoft that they could upload, that they could create this event on the upcoming uh, release or cumulative update. So to make sure that within next upgrade, our customer will have this functionality available on extensions, but right now we'll just modify the base app and we can try to check if there are any other workarounds, because believe me, there are a lot of different ways how we can manage these parts that cannot be moved directly to extensions. But before the project, we just need to sit down with the client and see which options we should take, because different ways takes different amount of time. So one workaround might take uh, 10 hours, another one might take 15 hours. So we need to sit down and check which option suits the best for both sides, and to make sure that the solution would work properly, and that it would be easy to upgrade it afterwards. So also I would like to remind you that by the end of the session, we also will send you the list of all the limitations that we have while doing the transition to Business Central, that see you could see where you might have some issues while doing the upgrade. And of course, with each new project that we are doing, we are adding more and more. I would say we are spreading the list of these limitations, because we are finding more and more functionalities that cannot be transferred there directly. Okay, so let's carry on with the presentation, and let's get back to it. I'll try to share. Okay, so what tools and resources to use if you are starting an upgrade project? So from our experience, here would be the main list of tools that we are using for all the upgrades to extensions that we do. So first of all, of course, it would be TXT to AL tool, which is the main tool for conversion from CL to AL, and it's provided by Microsoft. Then also we are using Docker Explorer. We are using Git extension for Visual Studio Code. Then PowerShell, Roger Hero, Visual Studio, um, language management tools such as NabAL tools or InTranslate. These tools can help a lot for us, and there are a lot of tools that we've built internally for our internal use, such as Classic Converter that converts Classic reports to AL directly. Also, as I've mentioned in the beginning of the session, we have Event tool that moves your customizations to events, and some other smaller tools that allows us to automate transition to extensions without well just simply reducing manual work on that, because there are quite a lot of manual work while doing this transition to extensions. Okay, and what about resources for upgrade to extensions? Once again, from our experience, that we have already managed to do quite a lot of workshops while helping other partners to do the upgrade to Business Central with extensions. And we saw that, for example, if you have a case when one of your clients came to you and asked to do the upgrade to extensions, or you have a huge add-on which you would like to move to extensions as well, first of all, what we would suggest you is don't start with a big project, because it simply, if you want to work with a big project, let's start with the small steps. First of all, if you do have a big add-on that you would like to move to extensions, let's cut it into the pieces, and let's take one of the parts of this add-on and try to move it to extensions there. Let's learn some lessons, because when you will start working with the smaller project, it will be easier to find what kind of limitations Microsoft has, what kind of difficulties you are going to receive, what kind of difficulties you are going to get while working with the extension projects. Also, I would suggest to have a consultancy with some other partners who has already done these kind of projects that they could share the experiences, how to prepare all the environments, how to work with all these tools that I've mentioned earlier in the session. Or even you can just simply arrange a training session with one of the partners or even with us, uh, in order to receive some knowledge on how to manage these kind of projects. Because if you haven't worked with extensions before and suddenly you decided that, okay, we have one client that would like to move his solution to extensions, let's start working on that. First of all, I believe you will have a lot of, if you haven't worked with this with extensions, you will have a lot of issues while scoping properly this estimation. You will have problems while working with all these limitations, because if you haven't worked with extensions previously, you won't be able to tell properly to your client what he is going to receive on the new versions, what he is going to lose while going to extensions, and so on. So it takes, I would say, it takes quite some time to get to use work with extensions and to do the transitions there. So let's start with the small steps, small projects. Let's make some training sessions, or at least uh, let's make a discussion with some of the partners who has already moved their solutions there, to make sure that you won't have big issues afterward. Okay, let's go to some lessons that we learned while working with extensions. Uh, I would say that for Simplanova, it wasn't an easy way to go, easy way to start. Our main goal was to enter this field as early as possible. So we took the first project, and despite the fact that we didn't have much experience in that field, it was successful in the way that the solution worked perfectly. Client was happy, uh, solution worked well. But the thing is, it was difficult for us also to do a proper estimation with the first project. So I would tell you that we estimated this project for 1 week, but actually it took almost a month for us to to do it properly. But from this kind of project, despite the fact that it was quite small, we learned lots and lots of lessons. And uh, this is the way how we gained our experience while working with extensions. So one of the things that we've noticed is that previously standard fields were modified or used in NAV table keys. That is not possible on Business Central versions anymore. So our solution, like a workaround, was to create new fields and link them through on before insert, on before modifier, on bore rename events, because we found that when we are using these events, they are not launched even if on insert, on modify, etc. Even in these cases when code triggers shouldn't be run. So the thing is, these workarounds, sometimes we are just checking if there are any bugs or errors left even by Microsoft, and see if we can find some space where we can do any adjustments and workarounds in this field. Also, one interesting case was with one of our Finnish partners. He had a small solution, and he wanted to move this solution on the cloud version. And the thing is, this solution was sending a request to another system. And in order to send the request, you need to have Finnish symbols in there. But the problem was that on the uh, second version, on the V2 extensions version, encoding with these Finnish symbols we are not available. And all the workarounds with .NET was not possible, as the solution should work on the cloud version. So we took quite an interesting approach and defined our alternative regarding these Finnish symbols. So we took a step down in program languages and went to bytes level. And this helped to save money because our client didn't need to host any Azure functions. Also, it reduced latency while comparing with the Azure functions. So the solution works perfectly. They don't need to spend extra money while hosting Azure functionalities, Azure functions on Azure, and so on. But to share our knowledge, I would say that we are using this approach as well. In some of the cases, if some of the cases we are working with Azure functions. So once again, according to each project, we are discussing with our clients which approach is suitable for them. Uh, Next thing, what I would like to share, also one of our lessons, but this wouldn't be like a lesson. It would be, I would say, the thing that we've managed to do in order to save time on the upgrade project to extensions is that, uh, for example, in the previous NAV versions, caption, tooltips, multi-language, etc., they are available. Right now, they are still available, but these properties are available, but you know, on the app source, they won't be available anymore. So instead of these properties, we need to use language files. Typically, in upgrade process, these files are generated during conversion with TXT to AL tool. But in the end of the upgrade project, many objects will be changed while comparing how they looked in the beginning, and due to that, these language files are not sufficient anymore. So we need to generate new ones, but they are generated only from caption tooltip properties. So it seems that in the end, we are just in one language because they are not multi-language anymore. So in order to build new languages, it would take quite a lot of time to do that manually. So our team generated developed a tool which generates language files for missing languages from old to new. So it cuts quite a lot of manual work. And as I've mentioned earlier, we have simply built a lot of these small tools, but tools that allows us to save time significantly. And let's go to another part, which is really important to understand. Of course, it's not it's not a nice thing that we still do have such a things, because when you're thinking about the new versions, you think that everything should be possible, there shouldn't be any limitations, but it is what it is, and we need to face the fact that there are technical limitations. If you are going to extensions, if you are going to on cloud, you will even have more limitations than just simply on on-prem versions, and there are quite a lot of not supported features for table and page extensions. uh, After the session, I'll prepare all the document regarding these limitations that you could have it, and do an investigation internally with a team of yours, with the client of yours to whom you are going to do the upgrade project. Uh, Also, quite an important thing that not supported or problematic features for all type of objects related to file management code units, Microsoft Office automations, and .NET. Other .NET solutions, as most of the cases only with Azure functions, commented out code, especially then conditions if while commented, some type of code modifications with global variables, All customized reports, XML ports, queries should be recreated as new objects, menu suits not supported, and so on. And of course, there are quite some limitations if you are going to the cloud. One really important thing, if you have a database which is bigger than the 150 gigabytes, so you will have issues to do the data migration. If you have a bigger database, there is a restriction on that. Also, the SQL server should be not older, cannot be older than 2016 version. Database must have compatibility level 130 or higher. On-prem solution must be under Business Central or Dynamics GP 2018 R2. And data reapplication is only one way, on-prem, on cloud. And for extensions, don't forget to reset replicate data equals true. So that would be it regarding the upgrades to Business Central. Once again, it's not easy task to do. There are restrictions, there are limitations. It's not an easy task to do the proper estimation if you haven't done that before. So in this case, I would say that you just need to do small steps in order to start a transition to extensions. Let's start with the small upgrades, small functionalities. Let's have training sessions, workshops with other partners. Let's discuss with partners who have already done the transition to extensions, that they could share the experience of yours. Let's take best practices regarding the tools that should be used for Business Central transition to extensions. Of course, I would suggest also even to visit Simplanova's page and go through all the blogs that we have, because we've shared quite a lot of information on how to do the transition to extensions, what are the limitations, how to do development on the extensions part, and so on. And right now also, next step will be to send all the information for you, for all the participants. We'll send the the recording of this webinar and of course the file of the limitations. And if you'll have any questions, or if you would like to have a training session with our team, if you would like to have a free estimation with us, you can contact sales@simplanova.com directly, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Or right here, you can also send the email directly to me. It would be dz@simplanova.com. So thank you very much for all of you for joining the session, for spending the time with us. I hope this was a time worth spending, and it will help you with upcoming projects for you. And hope to hear you soon afterwards. It was nice talking. Have a good day. Bye.